Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a complete full review and demo on the Morphe gunmetal brush collection. I do have every single brush in this line to share with you guys. It's not a collection, it's like a line, I should say. This was sent to me by Morphe, but I have purchased a bunch of things on the Morphe website before. I really love them. You guys know I talk about their brushes all the time. And if you watch a lot of YouTube like I do, you have probably seen these brushes going around recently, like everybody is using them. And I haven't personally seen like a whole video dedicated to just the brushes, so that's why I wanted to do it for you guys. I didn't have to do this video, they didn't ask me to, but I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and demo some of them since I feel like a lot of people have been using them. A lot of people have been using them recently. So I'm going to start off with the face brushes. The first one I want to talk about, I feel like Jaclyn Hill has probably made a little famous recently, and it is the Morphe G6 brush. And it is their flat buffer brush. This retails for $13.95 and it's an amazing brush. I used it today to put on my foundation and it really does a great job of buffing the foundation in. I highly recommend this one. I think it's really good. But it is small. It's a very small flat top kabuki style brush, which I actually really like. When I first got it in the mail, I was like, oh, no. This is too small for my face. Mama's got a big face. Because I am used to using the Makeup Geek foundation stippling brush, which is my favorite flat top brush. But as you can see, it is smaller. I wouldn't say it's much smaller, but it definitely is smaller, which I actually like because it gets perfectly right in between my eyebrows. And I find it really hard to do that with any other flat top kabuki because they are larger for your face. So this one gets right in my eyebrows and I feel like it gets perfectly right here on the sides of my forehead. I don't know, I think it is the perfect size. It is a little small, but I actually really appreciate that. Next brush I want to talk about is this one right here. This is the brush I was most excited for. I really wanted this. This is the G2 brush. This is pretty much a dupe for that Sigma brush that everybody uses to blend concealer underneath their eyes. I don't own that one. I'm not a huge lover of Sigma, you guys know this, but this blends the concealer so well. It's called their pointed buffer brush and it is $13.95. It's amazing, it's amazing. You definitely can use this for foundation. I mean, it's big enough to use it for foundation, but the fact that it's pointed at the top makes it so easy to blend that concealer underneath your eyes. You guys know my holy grail concealer brush is the Real Techniques contour brush. This one's just a little bit bigger and a little bit more tapered, like comes to a little bit more of a point. But it is so soft and I think I like them both the same. Like, I highly recommend this one. If you are looking into the Morphe brushes, I highly recommend this. This next one is called G1 and it is their small buffer brush. This one retails for $13.95 as well, and this is just like a tiny round top kabuki. You can use this as for foundation. I didn't today, but you definitely can. I used it to buff out the concealer on this eye just so you guys can see. It also works to buff in your concealer, so if you're someone who wants to use the same brush to use as foundation and then buff in your concealer, this does the trick. It is a little bit more rough. It's not rough, but it's a little bit, this one is just a little bit flowier and softer, but this one does a good job of blending things out. No! This next one right here is called G7 and it is their round powder brush. This one retails for $17.95. I did use this today to set my foundation with some powder. I don't typically set my foundation with powder, but I did for this video. This does a good job of setting it with powder. It works. It's a good powder brush. I typically like things like my e.l.f. Kabuki brush because it is bigger, significantly bigger. I like big brushes to set my foundation, but if you don't like that big brush going all over your face, then this is a great powder brush. This is also a great bronzer brush, just a dust bronzer all over your face like this one. This next one I absolutely love. This is the G3 and it is their tapered contour brush. This retails for $13.95 and this is honestly amazing for cream contouring. I used it to cream contour today and it's great because it does such a good job of honestly like diffusing the cream contour. Sometimes cream contouring can be a little intimidating and hard to blend out with certain brushes, but because it's so dense, like it's so packed, so soft, it blended out the cream contour flawlessly. I also really love this one as well, and I see myself using it a lot. This is the G5, and it is their pointed powder brush. This retails for $17.95. These bigger ones are a little bit more expensive. I think $17.95 for a brush is pretty expensive, honestly, but it's still a great brush. It didn't fall apart when I washed it. It doesn't shed, and I feel like this really applies bronzer beautifully. I love that it's pointed, it's tapered, so it can kind of contour as well. I think it's a multitasking brush. You can use it for many different things: powder, powder, blush, all that stuff. This next one is called G8. And it is their tapered powder slash blush brush, and this one is $16.95. I did use it for blush today. The shape threw me off when I first got it because it's like pointed, but it's tapered. I don't know, it's a weird shape, but it works for blush. I dipped it into the blush and then I just started to pat it on my cheeks, and it packs on the product really, really nicely. And the cool thing is that I kind of flipped it on the other side to blend out the blush. So I packed it on with one side and then I flipped it over and blended it out with the other side. So I actually really like that about it because it is kind of flat like a paddle brush. I used both sides. This next one I don't really like. This is the G9, and the only reason I don't like this is because it's one of those standard paddle foundation type of brushes, like old school. I wouldn't say old school, but you know what I mean. It's $13.95. I don't recommend it just because it's not my favorite, and I use this honestly to like put on my my face masks. That's what I use paddle brushes like this for. This next brush, I didn't use it in the demo because I used a bunch of other brushes, but I really love it. This is the G4. It's their angle blush brush, and it is $15.95. I don't know how much this brush is from Sigma. It's their Sigmax brushes. I don't know how much this is. I bought it like 2 years ago. This one is really good for cream contouring, I feel, because it is dense. It's packed really well, so it's good for that. But this one has a little bit more give. This one is just, it flows more. So when I try to use this brush for bronzer, for powder bronzer, it's hard. It kind of stamps the product in one place because it's so dense and packed. But because this one is so like, it has more give to it and it flows more, it blends the bronzer easily. Okay, so now moving on to the eye brushes. The eye brushes are definitely a lot more affordable. Let's just put those right there. By the way, if you are wondering what's on my lips, a video will be coming very soon about what's on my lips, and that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, one thing I really do wish about this brush set, like this brush line, is that you can buy all of them like in one set. I wish they had a thing where they sold them all in one set and kind of discounted the price. Does that make sense? Like if you buy all of them at once, you get a discount on it. I wish they did that. I wish they put them like in a bundle. But Jaclyn Hill does have a coupon code. If you are wondering if you want to buy any of these brushes, Jaclyn Hill has a coupon code. It's called like Jack Attack or something like that. I will write it somewhere in this video or in the description box so you can get 10% off. I believe it's 10% off. Anyway, moving on. Okay, let's talk eye brushes. The first one I want to talk about is this guy right here. I really love this eye brush. This is their G14. It's their oval shadow brush and it retails for $6.95. I love this. I used it today to just kind of diffuse some eyeshadow on the lid. I put it all over my lid and up to my brow bone just to put a light layer of something on my lid. And then I also used it to highlight my brow bone. I love brushes like this to highlight because it doesn't pick up too much product. I mean, I used an intense highlight today because the eyeshadow was very intense, but it doesn't pick up too much, and it's beautiful for highlighting the brow bone and just for throwing a light wash of something on your lid. This next one I want to talk about, I love so much. It is the G19. It's their round contour brush. I didn't think I was gonna like this because I was like, oh, I guess this is like an eyeliner brush, but it's too fat to be an eyeliner brush. I don't know what I would use this for, but I actually used this to pack the highlight right in my inner corner, and it's a very, very, very small, tiny little brush, so it gets right into my inner tear duct and just applies the product perfectly because it is so small. This next brush is probably my favorite one out of all of the eye brushes. It is their G17. It's their round blender and it is $7.95. I love this. I love blending brushes. It's like my addiction. I love them. I have a lot of them. But this one is amazing. It is so soft. It just puts the color into the crease flawlessly. You guys know I always use my Sigma E40 brush. I love this brush for just buffing something into the crease. This is a lot smaller and a little bit more precise, so it's perfect for people with smaller eyes than me, or just if you don't want something so crazy and just dust it in your crease. You won't get any patchiness with this. I highly recommend this one, and it's very, very inexpensive. The next one is similar but a lot smaller. This is the G18. It's called their round crease brush and it's $7.95, and I use this in the same way but for a more precise application. It packs on a little bit more color. It's not as fluffy, so I used it to kind of buff the color into the crease and pack it on the outer V of my eye. I used a darker brown and it just blended really nicely. This next one is called the G13 and it's called their blending fluff. I like the name. It's a blending fluff. I used it today to kind of pack on some shadow on the outer corner of my eye and also dust some into the crease. This is the kind of brush that works for so many different things: to highlight underneath the brow bone, to put some color on the lid, like a light wash of color on your lid, or to blend some on the outer V of the eye and bring it into the crease, but it's going to be a little bit more precise as well. I really like this one. These next three are kind of similar to me, very, very similar. This one is the G15. I love this. This reminds me so much of my MAC 239, I think it's what it's called. And I use this one to pack color onto my lid. I used it today to put like a little bit of a white shadow on my lid, and it packs the color beautifully. It picks up a lot of product and it just applies it really nicely. It's called the Small Oval Shadow and it is $5.95. And then this one, I guess it's like their concealer brush. This is the G10 and it is, yeah, it's called concealer. I don't use these kind of brushes for concealer. I don't like them at all for concealer, but this is a perfect brush to pack on shadow, just like this one. But if you have like a larger eye or you don't want to spend time packing on forever, this packs it on like instantly. This next one is called the G20 and it is their medium oval shadow. It's $6.95 and it works just the same as the G15, only one is a little bit longer and skinnier and one is just a little bit fatter and shorter. This next one is called G11. It's their angle liner brush. It's $4.95. I personally don't love this one just because it isn't super thin. I love my angled brushes to be very, very sharp because I'll use them for gel eyeliner, but this one is a little bit fluffy, but I did find some good use out of it because since it is a little bit fatter, this is perfect for shadow. So I did apply some of it to the top part of my lashes just to make it look like I have a little bit of a dark brown eyeliner effect, because it doesn't leave a harsh line because it is a little bit more fluffy. Does that make sense? I also used this underneath my lashes today just to add some color to the bottom as well, and so it could be a little bit more precise and close to my lashes. That is the one thing I wish they had with these eye brushes. They do not have a pencil brush at all. And then I just have two more brushes to share with you. This one is the G16. This is their Angle Blender Shadow Brush. This is $6.95 and I don't typically use brushes like this. This one was a little bit frayed when I got it, like the a little bit of the hairs came out, but I mean I pulled it out and it seems perfectly fine. I don't typically use brushes like this, but I know a lot of people love them because it's perfect to pack out on the outer V and then just swipe it right into the crease because it's that perfect angle brush. And then the last one is the G12. It's the oval lip brush and it's $4.95. $4.95, yeah. This is perfect to just apply lipstick or lip gloss to your lips. It's a lip brush, you know, a typical lip brush. So it works, it's convenient. Okay guys, so that is it. Those were my thoughts and I kind of demoed most of these on my face. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. One thing I will highly recommend is these brushes, this lettering will come off eventually because some of mine is already scratching off. So I highly recommend using a clear top coat, a clear nail polish top coat, and just apply it right over the word Morphe and right over like G6, right over the lettering so that it does not fade. I did that to my Sigma brushes, my MAC brushes, because eventually from touching it so much and using it so much, you will rub off the name. So yeah, okay guys, that's it. I know this video is super long, but I just wanted to go into detail and show you like a full demo of all these brushes. I try my best, guys. I try my best. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!